I think the most important thing is really just comes down to probably a fairly cliched adage, but um, just the notion of picking people over projects, putting people first. And it's a good bit of advice, of course, just for dealing with people and being at work, regardless of what you do, what sort of team you're on, whether you're on a big team or a small team. But I think particularly when it comes to deciding principles in your career, picking people over a project is I think always the right move. I think about it really from sort of three different vantage points. One is the normative culture, two is mentorship, and three is this concept of professionalism and really what that means. So from the context of culture, the people that you're working with clearly have a very important role as to both the micro and the macro culture of the organization that you're surrounding yourself with and that you're a part of and that you're trying to further and espouse in the work that you do and the interactions you have with people. And certainly websites and documents and mission statements say only so much, but really having a connection with an individual on your team and potentially someone you work for or alongside, or people who report to you, I think really have a pretty meaningful impact as to your day-to-day interactions, regardless of what you do. The mentorship aspect of all the three things is probably the most important. And I think it goes without saying that mentorship in a career, mentorship in life is extremely important. And while it's beyond the scope of the answer to this question, I would say, in my experience, having mentors at various stages of my career development and in different facets of your life, right, is really important. So people who mentor you at work may not necessarily know as much about your work-life balance. People who mentor you in your personal life or in your recreative life or your spiritual life or whatever the various elements are that make you who you are, it's important to have people in your corner who can help advise you. And of course, mentors are different than sponsors, but especially at work, picking people and picking good mentors and being in an environment where there's access to good mentorship is really, really important. And the reason I think not only it's important not only while you're there, but really has to do with when you leave that organization, that you have an ever-growing cadre of people in your corner who are helping further you in your career, help give you advice at various stages, and people who can help connect you with other people. The final point really has to do with professionalism, and it's this notion of whatever it is you do, doing it well, doing it the same way, regardless of who the recipient is. In my profession, I'm a physician, and I think that to me, being a professional, aside from doing a great job and trying your hardest, is regardless who the recipient is and regardless of how they make you feel.